Hey everyone, welcome back to CK Cycles. Back working on the 84 CB700. When I originally installed these replacement forks, I forgot to include these reflectors that get bracketed onto the front fork. So I removed these off of the original forks and wanted to install them here on these replacement forks. The easiest way I found to do that was to remove the front wheel, remove the front fender, and then it made it nice to get these installed. And so everything went as planned and put the fender and the wheel back on. But as I got to clamp the front axle onto the bottom of the forks, I was tightening down the nuts on the fork studs here. And although I was well within the torque specification and using my torque wrench to do it, on this back stud, righty-tighty became righty-loosey. I need to pause the video right here and admit that I made a mistake when I initially was tightening down the nuts on these studs. When I reviewed the torque values in the service manual, I discovered that I had actually set my torque wrench, which was in foot-pounds, to the required Newton-meter value. So essentially, I did over-torque these studs and strip them out myself. And so I'll get a close-up of that for you. So not too excited about that. The front stud extracted itself. It's over on my bench, but I think that the threads on that stud are also a little bit messed up. So I think fortunately the threads that go up into the fork are still good. So that shouldn't be an issue once I get this stud out. I put a pair of vice grips on it and tried to extract it that way. It didn't work. I did buy a handy dandy stud extractor. I'm hoping not to have to use this. I'm hoping I can return that to the store unused. And I also purchased kind of just like some generic metric studs. These are 8mm, I believe. 10mm, no, 8 by 1.25. I'm not sure if that is the correct thread pitch for this. I'm going to do my best not to open these and use these either. Since I do have the original set of studs, or set of forks, I'm going to try to extract studs from those and then replace those studs into these replacement forks here. That's what I'm hoping to do. So I'm going to get a close-up here. You can kind of take a look at the threads. I'm going to hop over and try to extract the studs from the original forks, get a little practice at doing that, see if I can do it using a double nut pinch method, or see if I do have to use my extractor, because I would like to be able to use original stock Honda studs if possible. Here are my original forks. I'm going to see how easy it is to try to extract the studs from these. Kind of maybe give me an idea about how difficult extracting the stud from my replacement fork may be. May or may not be. So I'm going to try to do it using the pinch nut method here. See if that'll work. I'd really hate to break these studs. That would not be fun. Okay. Alright, it's moving. I don't know if this is going to work. I really don't want to mess up these threads. So I don't want to go super tight on this pinch here. Nope. All right. So I would like to save these studs, or yeah, save these studs if I can. Okay, so the double pinch nut here, not happy. I'm really hoping that this, if I get it down far enough, will not damage the threads. Pulling this one out. Hopefully I'm not messing up the threads. That's what we got to find out. Threads seem to be intact. Cool. So maybe that little tool was worth it. So it looks like it really pinched it down here on the flat of the stud. Yeah. Which I think is where I wanted to pinch it. I can see tool marks here on the flat of the stud. But it did not get up into the threads. That's great. All right, so let's move on to this other one. Oop, wrong way. All right. Nice. Stud feels a little bent too. Maybe I don't have the extractor on there quite squarely. I thought I did, but there's a rounded end to the stud and a flattened end to the stud. The flattened end, I believe, came out up in the fork. So I think the rounded end needs to be sticking out. I'm gonna go get my replacement studs and see. Alright, so I think that'll do for this video. The Honda is coming right along. One major thing I do need to address before this bike is 100% complete is the fuel tank. The fuel tank that's on here is a replacement tank. The paint is not original, or at least it is highly faded, and there's a pretty good dent over here on the right side of the tank. The reason why this tank is on the bike is that on the inside, this tank is clean. The stock tank that came on this motorcycle is beautiful on the outside. The paint is great, there's no dents, it's a wonderful tank. But at one point, the tank had a liner installed, and now that liner is starting to fail. So that's going to be in an upcoming video, is how to get that liner out and protect the inside of the tank while maintaining the original paint and the exterior of the tank. It's going to be a little bit of a process. I'm going to have to go real slow, but for now, this bike is rideable, and I'm happy to use this tank. This is Chris for CK Cycles. We'll see you later.